Chaitanya Charitam. This meeting is being. Oh, got it. Madhya Lila, chapter 11, text 8. Got it? Everyone? Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Niskincanasya Bhagavan Unmukasya Param Jigamisho Avasagarasya Sandarshanam Vishayinam Ata Yoshitam Cha Anta Vishabhaksha Sanataha Api Asadu Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajonmukasya
Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajonmukasya
Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajonmukasya
Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajonmukasya
Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya Darshanam Vishayinam Atayoshitam Cha Sandarshanam Vishayinam Atayoshitam Cha Hanta Hanta Vishabhak Sanatopi Sadhu Hanta Hanta Vishabhak Sanatopi Sadhu Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajanonmukasya
Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajanonmukasya
Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya Darshanam Vishayinam Atayoshitam Cha Hanta Hanta Vishabhak Sanatopi Sadhu Niskincanasya Bhagavad Bhajanonmukasya Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya Darshanam Vishayinam Atayoshitam Cha Hanta Hanta Vishabhak Sanatopi Sadhu Krishna.
यस्किञ्चयस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य परं परं जिगमिषोर्भवसागरस्य रणं विषयितम् अथ योगितां च विषभक्षन्तु प्रिय साधु
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनं मुखस्य परस्य तयोषितां च साधु
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य पारं परं जिगमिषोर्भवसागरस्य सन्दर्शनं विषयिणाम् अथ योगितं च आहन्त हन्त विषभक् सनतोऽप्यसाधु
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवता भजनमुखस्य कमीश्वरभवसागरस्य संतो प्रिय साधु
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनोन्मुखस्य परं परं जिगमिषोर्भवसागरस्य सन्दर्शनं विषयिणाम् अथ योषितां च हन्त हन्त विषभक्त सनतोऽपि साधु
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य पारं परं दिगमिषोर्भवसागरस्य सन्दर्शनं विषयिणाम् अथ योषितं च आहन्त हन्त विषभक्त सनातोऽपि साधु निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य पारं परं जिगमिषोर्भवसागरस्य सन्दर्शनं विषयिणाम् अथ योषितां च हन्त हन्त विषभक् सनतोऽपि साधु निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजो न मुखस्य भवसागरस्य
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य परं दिगंसो भवसागरस्य दर्शनं विषयिणाम् अथ योषितां च हन्त हन्त विषभक्सनोतोऽपि साधु निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनो मुखस्य भवसागरस्य दर्शनं विषयिणाम् योषितां च सनातोऽपि साधु
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनोन्मुखस्य
निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजनोन्मुखस्य
परं चित्तविशोर्भवसागरस्य दर्शनं विषयिणां यथ अयोषितां च दहन्त विषय भक्षणतोऽपि असाधु
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation, can read translation?
Greatly lamenting, the Lord then informed Sarvabhauma of Acharya, alas, for a person who is seriously adding to the material ocean and engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord without the material motives, seeing a materialist engaged in sense gratification or seeing a woman who is similarly interested is more abominable than drinking poison willingly.
Next.
This is a quotation from Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Snataka 8.23. The Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enunciates that principles for a sannyasi renouncing the material world for spiritual advancement. Spiritual advancement is not made for magic shows and jugglery, but for crossing the material world and being transferred to the spiritual world. Param Jivaneshu means desiring to go to the other side of the material world. This is a river called Vaitarani. And on the other side of the river, the material world. And on the other side of the spiritual world, since the Vaitarani river is compared to a great ocean, it is named Bhavasagar, the ocean of repeated birth and death. Spiritual life aimed at stopping the repetitions of the birth and death and entering into the spiritual world where no one can be eternally cognizant and blissful.
Okay, next.
The spiritual world is mentioned it is supreme and when all this world
Next.
Thus, there is a spiritual nature beyond this material world, and that spiritual nature exists eternally. Spiritual advancement means stopping material activities and entering into the spiritual activities. This is the process of Bhakti Yoga. In the material world, the via media for sense gratification is mainly a woman. When one who is seriously interested in spiritual life should strictly avoid women. A sannyasi should never see a man or a woman for material benefit. In addition, talks with materialistic men and women are also dangerous, and they are compared to drinking poison. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict on this point. He therefore refused to see King Pratap Rudra, who was naturally always engaged in political and economic affairs. The Lord even refused to see the king despite the request of the personality like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was the Lord's intimate friend and devotee.
Om Ajnanatimrandasya Dhamma Janasalakaya Satchiramiritamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamam Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vancha Kalpatarabhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastachadeya Sacharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Asari Gaura Bhattavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare So the background of this verse that we are reading today is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Puri and then he had this interaction with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was an impersonalist and also is a Raja Guru. He is actually advisor to the king. So he became a devotee, and then after that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India. And during that time, King Pratap Rudra, he wanted to have an audience with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he spoke to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, can you please, recommendation check. Can you please recommend? He said, okay, I will speak to the Lord when he comes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back from South India too. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requested that he meets with Pratap Rudra, king. So in response to that request, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's no response. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, this is actually the verse from Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nadak. It's a drama Chaitanya Chandrodaya. Chaitanya Chandra Udaya. That is our Mayapur temple is also called Chandra. Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. Chandrodaya. Mayapur Chandra Udaya is a rising moon of Mayapur. So here it is stated, for a person who is seriously desiring to cross the material ocean. This is ocean, big ocean, Bhavasagar, ocean of birth and death. And after crossing, he wants to engage in the loving devotional service of the Lord. For that person, seeing a materialist engage in sense gratification, Vishayi, those who are materialistic, those who have no interest in spirituality, pound shilling only. And seeing a woman who is also similarly interested in material things, is doing that is more abominable than drinking poison willingly. Willing, not unknowingly. कोई रख दिया पी लिया इन्हें मालूम है poison and then take it. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting the very high standard for especially for himself as a sannyasi, but it is applicable for everybody who is interested in Krishna consciousness, because he is just setting an example for any devotee. Even though he is playing the role of sannyasi, his way of living is actually an example for every one of us. What we should be conducting our life, that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching. It's not he's teaching only for sannyasis. ऐसा देखिए तो कौन बचाएगा? So,
Questions are at end or
this is casual session, so you can ask in between also.
so this Mahaprabhu Chaitanya said this, we avoid meeting king. In you said this is an example for household materialistic. So like we aspiring devotees, practicing devotees, or advanced devotees, we have to deal with all kind of people. We cannot avoid, okay, we will not talk to you, we will not meet you, we will not this, that. So we have to sit and stand and deal with this kind of people. So Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev, he avoided king. And what example, how we will take it, how to avoid, how to meet, or what to do.
That is why Prabhupada has taught us how to do in this present situation. So, I was going to discuss maybe some of the things I may be discussing actually. So, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, is setting the highest standard to show that one should not be unnecessarily spending time with people who are not Krishna conscious. It's asat sangha. So it all depends upon for what is the purpose that we are dealing with. So I was going to give an example actually. Srila Prabhupada, he went to Srimati Sumati Murarji, who was a lady as well as a businesswoman. दोनों मिक्स है. इसमें तो दो बताया चैतन्य महाप्रभु. You should not deal with women, you should not deal with materialistic people. And she was doing what? She was doing business. She was a businesswoman. Scindia steam navigation company. They are not exporting all no spiritual items, the ordinary business woman. She is a devotee, by the way. But then Prabhupada went to her. He waited in her office from morning till evening, actually. The first day, she didn't know, but they didn't tell her, but he was waiting. And when she was leaving the office, she found a sadhu sitting there. Arey, sadhu kya ho? No, I was waiting for morning. Arey, why is waiting? Then next day, he met, and then at the end, he was telling that you send me to America. And she was telling, Arey, our people are telling you to die. Koi baat nahi. There is America. So you may wonder, Prabhupada is a sannyasi. Then he went to that lady and then asking for it what? Purpose. The purpose is Krishna conscious. There is nothing material. If you go for a material purpose, then it is poison. If it is for a spiritual purpose, at the end of the day, Prabhupada met all the rich people. The initial life members were all big shots. Birla, this one, that one, ये लोग का सब बना है. So, in fact, Prabhupada in the beginning, he didn't have a place. He was staying in the life members' houses actually. Some of the life members would say that, why don't you come and stay in our place? He will stay there. So, what we learn from this is, we may deal if the purpose is Krishna conscious, but we don't unnecessarily waste our time. Socialize. So, उनका साथ रहना ही है क्योंकि थोड़ा अच्छा relation बने. For material purpose, that is not required.
Gossiping purpose.
Huh?
For gossiping purpose.
Okay, you want to, make your idea clear. So unclear things are no ambiguity. Very clear. No gossiping. Right? Okay. Yes. No gossiping. No prajalpa. No gramya katha. For this purpose, if you want to have friends, you want to have relatives, that is not recommended. That is not recommended. So yes, in the present situation, if you ask what to do, you deal with your relatives, you deal with your friends, but then keep Krishna in the center and make sure that, they don't, the whole idea should be, you should be trying to make them come to Krishna, closer to Krishna. Not that they make you to go farther to Krishna. ये होना बंद, ये minimum, bottom line. ये नहीं हो सकता तो बंद, दुकान बंद. You can even say that दुकान बंद कर दिया. So idea should be, you deal in such a way that they become little Krishna conscious. But you don't allow them to deal with you in such a way that you become less Krishna conscious. Yes, it's nice simple. Otherwise, especially for devotees living outside, you have to deal with society, office, बहुत कुछ है, business है, काम है, ये रहेगा. But then you do it in such a way that those things don't affect your Krishna consciousness. That is bottom. If it is affecting, then you have to reduce such association. That is required.
Himself is a god. So by avoiding king, what is the logic?
He is telling that you guys do like that. Later on, he is going to actually appreciate him also. It's coming up. See, first
King has to deal with all the politics. His job, he is doing his job. So why Mahaprabhu Chaitanya is not meeting the king? Not
You missed it.
avoiding king?
that is his job, not to meet.
He's so merciful. Why he says?
Try to understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting the highest standard in everything. In his sannyas order, he is setting. Sometimes actually, Mayavadi sannyas are very proud that they are very renowned. They are very proud actually. We are very proud. He is setting higher than that standard. So he is setting the standard. What is the highest standard? Then going to come. After this, what is going to happen? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will see that Pratap Rudra is going to sweep the floor, sweep the road actually. Then he say, Hare, Raja hai, kar raha hai. Then also he will not meet actually. Then when he is, after dancing, when he becomes tired, then he was taking rest. Then devotees will tell him to go and massage his feet and then recite Bhagavatam slokas. So when he was hearing that, then he, especially that sloka, Bhurida Jana, Gopi Gita. Then he said, you are Bhurida Jana, you are Putanda. They said, Are this is the king? Oh, okay. Then he accepted him. So there is a
Kind of Leela.
yeah. Setting on one hand is also setting the highest thing. On another hand, when he becomes a devotee, see, sometimes kings can be devotee also. Ambarish Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, these are all devotees. It's not same. But in the material world, now, especially in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago. So for that time, he is setting the highest standard for everything. So for that purpose, he is telling that he will not meet. If he immediately says meet, then they say, देखो भाई, ये सन्यासी है, उनको मिलने के लिए गया, वो भी हो जाएगा. If he did not resist and immediately accepted it, people criticize also. You are a sannyasi, how you met? We are all Mayavadis. So we didn't meet, and how you met करके बोलेगा. उधर मायावादी लोग भी है. रामचंद्र पुरी है बोलने के लिए बहुत लोग है. So what is the normal standard? And then when you are a devotee, then how to deal with that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exhibiting. So spiritual advancement means our aim is to cross this Bhavasaga. That is the goal. This is also known as Vaitarani river. It's like, this is actually the Karana Saga, in which Mahavishnu is lying down and from his bodily pores universes are coming. So from the universe even he escaped, still that ocean is there, right? That you have to cross. First of all, getting out of this shell is not possible. उसको बाद भी पानी बहुत है. So it is a very difficult task. It's not an easy thing. For an ordinary conditioned soul, it is impossible. It is impossible. But then, that should be our goal. Especially in the human form of life. It is rarely achieved. 84 lakh species of life rarely achieved. And after achieving this rarely attained human form of life, which is actually very useful in crossing this ocean. The animal form of life is not that useful. You can't cross. Facility high. So it is clearly stated in the purport that this body, human body, is like a boat which can cross this ocean. Human form. Because the human form, we have the facility to perform devotional service. Animal form, it is no facility. When facility is not there, you can't blame the animal. Hey, animal, you are not doing something, go back to God, you can't do it. कुत्ता को जाके बोलेगा तुम क्या कर रहे हो? मैं जो करना है कर रहा हूं. तुम जो करने करो ना, मेरे को क्या आगे बोल रहा है? If you tell the kutta why you are not chanting, you tell better you chant properly. That is your job. मेरे को तो करना नहीं होता नहीं है मेरे इसमें से. So you can't blame any other species of life. But whereas the human form of life, which is actually designed, this is the design, designed for either you be engaged in material activity or you can do spiritual. Both are possible. Animal life, only material things are possible. Spiritual thing is not possible. So, in the human form, which is fit for going back to Godhead, if one does not use it, then it is like he's losing the great opportunity, no? It is like, you apply for admission, you get the admission letter, you don't join the college. हो सकता है. Suppose apply करके तो क्या? Join करके तो apply करते हैं. Or you apply for a job. If you apply for a job, and then they say please join on the day, then you don't go. Okay, apply किया नहीं. So those who do not use the human form of life for performing devotional service, and which obviously includes this engaging with material. So if he's not using, what he'll be doing? Engaging with material people, material life, doing material things, either money, etc., etc., etc. And here it is stated, it is like more abominable than drinking poison. What is the drinking poison? Drinking poison means you know that if you take, you will die. Suppose it's poison. We know it is who takes the poison, those who want to die. अदर्स देख सकते अरे अरे दूर में रखो ये तो टच नहीं करना. So why this is said? It's a very strong statement actually. He said more abominable. It's not even equivalent. It's more than that because it actually finishes off your opportunity to live. Suppose I am living. It's a poison. It means what? Finish. So in the same way, associating with worldly minded people, let us say common, worldly minded people, it actually takes away the opportunity to perform Krishna consciousness. It is as good as spiritual death. So this poison of material engagement this material engagement actually takes away the opportunity for you to perform devotional. So committing suicide, this is common thing. It is Narottam Das Thakur also in his prayer, one of the songs, he says, Hari Hari Vifale Janama Gonai. Manusha Janma Paya. Manusha Janma. We have achieved the Manusha Janma. Radha Krishna Nabajiya. Janiya Shuniya Vishakainum. Janiya Shuniya Visha. Visha is actually poison. What he says, Manusha Janma Paya, if you don't worship Radha and Krishna, even if you worship somebody else also, Visha Painum. Very specific. Narottam Das Thakur says that if you have taken human form and you are not worshipping Radha and Krishna, you are knowingly consuming the poison. Means it actually takes away the great opportunity of engaging the human form of life in devotional service, which actually can help you to go back home, back to God. Actually, modern time, even if you tell them that it is poison, people don't mind taking poison. In the cigarette packet, previously they used to only write in text. Now they put graphics also. फिर भी सेल कम हुआ है क्या? And go to liquor shop. Governments are depending on liquor sales. Some of the government, not all. Some government. बंद करेगा तो कैसे चलेगा सरकार? As if there is no other way to run, So it also is not good to health. So why people suppose cigarette, for example, people know that it is going to cause some injury, and why they smoke, or maybe we should have interview to people. But the point is they don't care, as far as we can see. बाद में आएगा तो देख लेते. अभी के लिए प्लेजर मिलता है, थोड़ा ये मिलता है, वो अभी का ही देखना है. So when people are interested only short-term goal and don't think about long-term goal, it is foolishness. If an intelligent person, short-term goal, if you don't go to school, you play. Playing is good, no? Suppose you say that, I don't want to go to school. School में जाकर तो ये करना पड़ेगा, वो करना पड़ेगा, ये करना पड़ेगा. I will play. Then what? Long term, अभी के लिए तो अच्छा रहेगा. Then बाद में बोलेगा, अरे सब लोग पढ़ा लिखा है, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? So the children, they are sent to school because the long-term thing is considered. Short-term, you don't see. The same way, I want to smoke now so that I will be happy. I want to take some drug, so I'm happy now. बाद में क्या होता है हम देखेंगे. So that is actually unintelligent. Intelligence, we have to see what is the long-term goal, and for long-term goal, we should be ready to do some sacrifice. That is intelligence. So, so the devotees who understand that my goal is to go back home, back to Godhead, they make the voluntary sacrifice of Asat Sangha. They may know that if I go to this my friend's place, no, my Krishna conscience will not be proper. So he sacrifices. Friend calls, अरे अरे तुम आया ही नहीं है, मेरा कुछ वो बहाना बना सकता. You can become sick, you can become anything actually. If you know clearly that you are avoiding Asat Sangha, if you go there, दिमाग खराब हो जाएगी तो मालूम है ना, you can tell. Allow. To save yourself from getting entangled in the material thing, you can say that you can become sick. But then don't give these reasons for doing satsanga. ऐसा नहीं है कि सीख लिया बहाना बनाने के लिए, सत्संग के लिए भी बड़ा तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, ये उल्टा हो जाएगा. Makes sense? You can suppose if you think that if I go to that party, then I have to eat and I have to do this and all. No, it is, you don't want to do that. Then you can avoid. Nothing is imposed upon you. You can avoid. So, knowing well that Asat Sangha, so let us call it Asat Sangha, materialistic people dealing with women for material enjoyment, etc., etc. Put it under the basket of Asat Sangha. Asat Sangha. Asat Sangha Tyag, yehi Vaishnava Achara. Vaishnava means who is ready to give away Asat Sangha. You have to determine what is Sat and what is Asat. Suppose you go to a relative's place and if you think it is Asat, you can give. If you are going to a relative's place who are all devotees, you want to make them devotees, they are favorable for devotional service. They may not be devotees yet, but there's a chance that if you go there, they may chant one round, then you go there. That is preaching. So it all depends upon the time, place, and circumstances, and you are dealing with it. Nothing is fixed. Don't go to any relatives, not like that. You can go if you can make them devotees. Don't go if they make you not devotees. Full time. If they say that convince you to not do so much, इतना serious मत बनाओ यार. थोड़ा हमारे पास थोड़ा कुछ एक्सरसाइज करेंगे बाद में देखेंगे. If they are going to try to convince them, then then next time ठीक है करके बोलना, next time नहीं जाना. So here those who actually take this visha, that is poison of asat, they actually what is known as they are knowingly committing suicide. Atma hano. Ishwapani said Atma hano. Suicide means what actually? You have physical body and you find it so difficult for you, tolerate some pain, whatever it is. And itna pain, nikal this. But in this body I'm having so much pain, so I want to leave this body. Take the poison. Then you leave the body, become ghost. So this is killer of the body. You are killing the body actually, taking the poison. So taking Asat Sangha is killer of the soul actually, Atma. What is this Atma? Because this Atma has got the human form of life, which is the suitable vehicle to cross the Bhavasagar. And then you are, suppose you are in the boat, sitting in the boat, and then can you voluntarily make a puncture? Puncture bana, matlab hole. Boat mein. पानी अच्छा लगता है, अंदर भी अच्छा लगेगा, चलो. Then what happens? Water will come inside. Then boat will be lost. The boat is supposed to float, So you need something to float to cross the water body. No, you are not going to a submarine. We are not talking about submarine. We are talking about normal boat. Normal boat means you should float, and you damage it in such a way that it doesn't float, it sinks. Then it is suicide. No? So when Atma is having this body and you are making puncture and you are losing the opportunity. So that is actually killer of the soul, Atma. So the soul got this body by, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavanji, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai. We are not talking about people who have come to Krishna consciousness. Huh? Those who have not come, we will talk about them. First of all, हमको तो सेव करना है. बाद में बाकी लोग. हमारा बोट में ही पंचर है तो दूसरा बोट को क्या करेगा? So, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan. So, by great fortune, one comes to Krishna, seed of devotional service. The seed of devotional service means you at least got convinced that I am not this body, I am soul. And my goal in this life is to go back to Godhead. And you start practicing Krishna consciousness. Seed is already planted. So we're talking about those people. And those people, after getting this chance, not going forward, going backward, means you are killer of the soul. You are losing the opportunity. We are supposed to move forward, not backward. Backward means you become less Krishna conscious. Less means whatever activity you are doing, you do little lesser than that. It should be always more than what you have done before, what you are doing now. It has to be more. More either by quantity or by quality. Quality may be important. So,
Maybe for those people who actually don't know the truth, for them also this is very
those who do not know what?
People, means most of the people don't know the truth. What is the life science, what is spirituality, how to connect with the God, who is actually the God. And be one person in the world, people in the world, now because of Prabhupada and his phone,
1%
came
only.
to know what is
Only 1%.
what is
You know what is 1%? You know how many? What is 1%? I mean, 140 crore Indians are there. उसमें उतना 1% कितना मालूम है? 1.4 crore उतना ड्यूटी है कि हमारे पास. ठीक है, आगे बढ़िए.
So for them who don't know the truth, for them also the punishment is the same.
Whether you know it or not, law of karma doesn't act differently. How law of karma will act differently? Fire will burn the finger whether you know it or not. So that is why when the Acharya like Prabhupada, when he sees that people are suffering, he sees them suffering, then he becomes compassionate to give Krishna consciousness in the form of printing the books and teaching and building the temple, etc., etc. This is our job. Those who are already practicing, their job is to be compassionate to the people who are not Krishna conscious, make them Krishna conscious. That is preaching work. First save yourself and then save others. As much as you are saved, that much you can save others. So first is we practice ourselves. We make our strong commitment for Krishna consciousness. Then you can tell others. Obviously, if they are not coming to Krishna consciousness, they will be going to this is coming. Now, those actually, it is the Ishopanishad says that Ashurya namate loka andena tamasavrataha tamste pratyabhigachanti yeche chatma hanojana. The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the world of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. So one has to go down to the lower planetary system, killer of the soul, one who loses the opportunity. So it very specifically calls killer of the soul, very strong terminology being used. Because you got suppose you got such an opportunity and then you commit suicide, what is that? It's a spiritual suicide. Those who are engaged in material activities is spiritual suicide. from spiritual point of view. So the it is mentioned in the purport of that is that Suras and Asuras. Suras are godly person who accept the authority of the scripture, accept the spiritual practice and they practice. In the Suras, they may be sometimes they may be materialistic also, but still Suras. But Asuras, they don't accept. Their destination is dark, ignorance. Hmm. So we are mentioning about how the human form is like both facilities in the human body. Human body is the boat, the facilities in the human body. What is that facility? To chant the holy name. We have tongue, you know. Dog doesn't speak language. Cat doesn't speak. But they can't chant Hare Krishna. So we have facilities. These are all compared to favorable breezes. See in the boat, especially what is it called? Catamarans. Right? Yachts, they put sail. So all the time boat means they use the wind. See, wind power, renewable energy. Kya baat hai? They used to have this, I don't know what do they call the cloth kind of thing. And it actually the wind, wind direction, it actually pushes the boat. Breeze. When the breeze is there, the fellow who boatman, expert. So he does it in such a way that boat goes in the right direction. So the facility in the body, like we have the legs to walk and do parikrama to government, is possible. And then go to the temple. Hands, these are the facilities, favorable winds, favorable wind. Hands to serve the Lord. Eyes to have darshan of the Lord. And the tongue to taste the prasadam of the Lord and chant the holy name. First chant the holy name and then prasad. And smell the flowers, tulsi, smell. So these are all facilities there, So these are all compared to the favorable winds in crossing the ocean. Ocean cross karna, you have to favorable wind chahiye, na? And then you need an expert boatman because wind may be there. The boat, the captain has to sail it, and that is the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. For us, ISKCON is like our body is the boat, and we are a small boat inside the big boat of ISKCON. And the captain of ISKCON is founder Acharya, is divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So you just be in the boat, it's so good enough. Sometimes people who are in the big ship, they just want to jump and see some fun, then you will drown all the who knows actually. बड़ा बड़ा बोट होता है उसमें छोटा बोट ही होता है थोड़ा ऐसा घूम के आगे तो घूम के आगे करके डूब जाएगा तो क्या नहीं. So the Acharya is Srila Prabhupada is the expert boatman, captain. And if one is under the shelter of the expert boatman, and then being there means you have to follow his instruction also, Boatman says something, you can't do something else. So Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna, follow regulative principle, do this sadhana bhakti, and all these instructions are there. So being with Prabhupada means following actually Prabhupada, not just physically be there and spiritually somewhere else, thinking something, being together. So in that way, one actually can make his journey of crossing this Bhavasagar, which is the goal of human form of life. If you say some other goal is there, that is inferior, this is superior, super goal. And if one uses his human form in this way, practicing Krishna consciousness under the guidance of the spiritual master, one actually makes his voyage crossing the ocean in the right direction. Sometimes it may take longer time, shorter time, but be in the right direction. Being in the right direction is important. So in this way, the engagement in asat materialistic activity, which actually takes the person away from Krishna consciousness, is compared to taking the poison. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a teacher, is teaching us that how important it is to avoid association of materialistic persons and activities, so that once Krishna consciousness is a smooth sail across Bhavasagar. That's the reason here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is setting the highest standard of avoid meeting a king who is naturally a person engaged in material activities, but in fact, it is not that, it is unknown to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the king of Puri is the servant of Jagannath. He is Jagannath himself. So it is not unknown to him, but he is teaching an example for us what we should be doing. We should not be thinking that Are inka ye bhi malum hai. But then setting the highest standard of devotional practice for us to follow, not to imitate. Okay, any other questions?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he met that Mughal governor while he was going for recently we read that he was going towards
What is that?
Mughal, governor.
Mughal governor.
When he was when he was going towards the Vrindavan,
Okay.
so he blessed him and he gave him like the Krishna consciousness.
Akbar means.
No, just when he was crossing the boat, he had to cross the boat that time. Yeah, he only arranged the boat and then there that moment even he was like Malage and Yavan and still he received them, he blessed them because he is Ishwar Swatantra, so he can do anything. That's it. But like, how do we conceive it?
How do you conceive what? Were you blessing the Musalman?
And here, King Pratap is not taking him, and there he is calling, he is giving time, he is blessing them, and then.
See, he was ready to serve. When somebody is ready to serve, the Lord accepts. But there, he is here playing a very sweet pastime.
Yeah.
There it is different. It is just like a normal transaction. It is a very super transaction. Because here, how he wants to accept, then he wants to show that if you have to approach me, you have to become a devotee. This is for, for us, we are a normal बोलेगा हम सीधा जाएंगे मिल जाएंगे ऐसा नहीं है तो you have to have the attitude. Then so by the way, when Pratap Rudra afterwards when he went to serve, he went in the normal dress. He didn't go in the royal dress. He go in the royal dress. So in that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he blesses different people in different way as a pastime. That way, if you see elephants and animals and Jharkhand ka to even animals, he was blessing them. So the Lord chooses the way he wants to bless. So different, it's not the standard rule applies. For him, he makes the rule depending upon his own sweet will. So we can't question his sweet will. So different people, different way blessings.
One more question, like Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, he was externally preaching Mayavadi because he himself has written so many things about like even
He is doing the role because he is doing this job of bringing Mayavad. Because Buddhism was prominent. Transition from Buddhism to Vedic is like intermediate step actually. So he was doing his service of bringing that so that all the other acharyas will come and defeat it actually. So he is also playing one role in his overall pastime. It is not that Lord Shiva doesn't know what is the truth. He knows absolute truth. He's a, Vaishnavanam Yatha Sandhya, of all the Vaishnavas is greatest, he knows. But then, when the Lord wants him to do certain things, he does it. So that is the reason.
like in comparison of animal and the Muslim, the Yavana. Sometimes he seems that, like to raise to the Yavana and make him a devotee is bigger achievement than actually making the animals a devotee.
What do you want to do?
No, I mean, like, I think that it's greater glory to make Yavana and Hare Krishna than an
Which is
animal.
better, you said? Yavana is better?
No,
Animal?
yes, it seems like
No,
it's kind of-
making a Yavana is better than making animals, you said, no?
Actually, it's more difficult than
Difficult. You can try both and see how it is.